Good afternoon. I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
And today we're in Matthew 6, and Tyler's going to read us 19 through 24. Tyler.
Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust consumes and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body, so if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters, for a slave will either hate the one and love the other, or be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth.
All right. So a couple things real quick. In the verses preceding, obviously verses 1 through 18, concerning almsgiving, which is charitable giving that has nothing to do with tithes and offerings. This is your generic charity that you do in addition to that. Concerning prayer, concerning fasting. All three of those, Jesus says, when you do alms, when you do pray, when you do fast. Jesus expects us to fast, he expects us to do generic charity, and he expects us to pray. The key is, do not do it so that people will praise you. Because what we have here in all three of these, and how this leads into verse 19, keep it to yourself because you're laying up a praise from God. You can either get external praise from men or you can get praise from God. So that when you move into 19, when he says, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust and everything, but store up treasure in heaven. Now some people, are you saying I shouldn't have a savings account? No, because the book of Proverbs tells us what? You need to have some stuff laid by and store. The difference is, if you're not doing charitable works, if you're not doing prayer, if you're not doing fasting, and with fasting, the money that you don't spend on groceries for yourself, go give to something that helps feed the hungry. You know, that's laying up treasure in heaven. That's laying up treasure in heaven. But don't be so focused about the stuff on earth, because what happens to everything on earth when you die, Tyler?
You don't get to go. It doesn't go with you.
That's part of it. But here's the other part of it. Someone else gets it. But the stuff you lay up in heaven, guess what? You get all of it. You get all of it. You're going toward it. You're not leaving it behind. You're going toward it. And so what's the issue here? No one can serve two masters. Now, I wish they wouldn't have translated that wealth. Some translate it wealth, some translate it money, some translate it riches. I wish they'd leave it as mammon. True or false, Tyler? God doesn't want us to be wealthy.
False.
False. Because in Deuteronomy, he says, when you come into the land and you become wealthy because I make you wealthy. He intended for the children of Israel to be wealthy. Mm-hmm. When he made the Garden of Eden, he put a territory on the outside edge of it that was filled with gold, bdellium, and onyx. And he says it's good gold. It's the stuff that's like the Lost Dutchman mine is fabled to be. It's 24 karat pure coming right out of the mine. You can have riches. And Jesus is going to tell you how to have riches in the rest of chapter 6. The issue is, who do you serve? Do you serve the system of man, which is mammon, with man's ways, or do you serve God? You can only serve one or the other. That's Jesus' point. You cannot successfully serve both. You can only serve one well. And someone... No, that's like if you tried to be in the Army and the Navy both at the same time. It doesn't work. You can only be in one. You say, but Can God give us wealth? Tyler?
Yes.
Proverbs says, the blessing of the Lord, it what?
Prospers or profits much.
Yeah, it makes rich, and he does not add any sorrow to it. There's a way to be wealthy and be blessed with things in this life without being worldly and materialistic. And he's going to cover that in the next section. But the bigger issue is, who are you serving? I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
And we bid you good afternoon. Lord willing, we'll see you back tonight at 7 o'clock. Book of James with Brother Ronnie Keller, one of our shepherds here at the Lake Butler Church of Christ.